Good afternoon. It's nearly noon. Nearly noon. Oh, hang on. I think my badge is a bit back to front. Here we go. Yes, we're in order. What's my hair doing? Just took my jumper off and put a new one on. It's like quick changes, Clark Kent into Supergirl, all round during the day when we've got the snacks. So often it's jumper, normal jumper off, civvy jumper off, normal later life training jumper on, and then I might have to go out later, so it'll be later life jumper off, civvy jumper on, and then back round again for the 4 p.m. Loads of quick changes. It does remind me of the of Showtime when I used to do dance shows and stuff like that with the school of dance I used to be at. Many a quick change on the sidelines, just out of view of everybody else. There's a load of girls go like Wonder Woman in a phone box. Good afternoon. I can see a couple of you are coming in now. Dull but dry in Cruden Bay. It's like here, George. It was quite nice and bright and dry, but yeah, okay earlier, but it's just kind of gone really dark and moody and just chucked it down. Yeah, it was good fun last night, thanks, Chris. I've got to do it all over again tonight with the little ones. I'm sure they'll appreciate the games and stuff like that a little bit more. Teenagers are a hard breed to crack, aren't they? But a few of them did dress up. One of them came in a onesie, and she said, "Kelsey, you got to help me out with this zip." Right? She just had a sports bra on underneath, and the zip was broken. And I said, can't fix that, I'm afraid. So I had some tape, you know, some like masking tape. So I wrapped that round her a couple of times to do a quick repair job on her onesie so she wasn't drafty. It was lovely and warm. It was so warm. I do understand, I don't agree with it, but I do understand why some mums, depending on what area you go to, tend to take their kids to school in their with their pyjamas on. That's the mothers, not the children being dropped off with their pyjamas on, by the way. Right, Sandra's feeling fragile. Go easy on yourself. You've been to pump. I did a 30-minute pump this morning at 6:30 in the morning. I did feel a little, you feel a bit jittery afterwards, don't you? But you know it's done you some good. Right, Maddie's off to pets at home later, but postponing it because it's horrible outside. Yeah, not great. If you can put it off, but then sometimes it ends up not getting ticked off the to-do list, doesn't it? Right, it's time for 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. It's officially 12 noon and the afternoon. Today is, according to the calendar, which I haven't opened yet, 12th. There it is. It's the 12th of the 12th in 2023. It's still 2023. Right, come on then, let's get going. Let's set up in good posture. Make some lengthening adjustments to your posture. Whether you're sat down or stood up, it doesn't matter. Start where feels best. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Hang on. Start where feels best for you. That should be a bit better. Right, yep. Got me on screen now. And start pedaling your legs. Now, if you are seated, just take that hip walk, travel yourself forwards a little bit in the chair so that you're a bit more perched on the front of it. So that will mean that the backs of your thighs are off the chair. They are free to move. The posture needs to be active. We're not relying or leaning into anything here. When you're ready, start to pick up your feet a bit more, let the knees come up, not too high, because that could throw your posture in different directions other than the upward direction where we want to sit it as high as we can and as tall as we can. Now bringing extras into it. The one arm at a time, swapping sides to the other arm at a time, or the both at the same time. Now get your elbows just like poking out behind your body there. Swinging freely around your shoulder joint. No flappiness going on at the elbows here. Just a good focus on that movement starting from the shoulders. In through the legs, you've got hips moving, you've got a bit of knees, more knees in standing actions than seated actions, and loads going on hopefully at ankles, feet and toes. Try and increase what's occurring at ankles, feet and toes level, because that will transfer into walking, stepping, standing, all actions there on your feet. Feeling like you're deeper breathing a bit more. And feeling a bit warmer as well. All right, steady yourself down. Take a bit of a pause. And a bit of a deep breath as well. Okay, super stuff. Have a pause there. Now, in seated, here's your seated option to start with. You will need a tea towel or your stretchy band. We're going to put in a little bit of work around your hips. Now, if you've already done some hip and leg work, Sandra, that's you, you might not be able to do quite as many. But that's okay, because for everybody, you just do what you can and as many as you can. And if we're targeting and aiming for strength, that's working as hard as we can in that short amount of time. So with a stretchy band, there's a couple of ways. I mean, this is rather long. A couple of ways in which you can set up your legs. So with a band, with its stretchability, there will be more stretch when you come to work in the leg position. So start with your feet and knees together. Wrap that around. Wrap it round once or twice. Twice is going to double the resistance, remember. And then bring your feet back out and your knees to hip distance. And that's your start position. And you'll already feel a bit of tension in and around your hip area. So for you lot, the knees are going to go wider. Oh, that is strong. And control back in, not to knock your knees together in the middle. If your feet are rolling, maybe just reposition and go a bit wider. And there's the other one. There's the next. And progress on from there. Keep moving steadily. Not too fast and choppy. Here with your tea towel option, there's no stretch in a tea towel. So have your feet already at about hip distance apart. Take the tea towel around, secure it at the side of your legs. You can go under and round if you prefer. And then the same difference. You're pushing the knees out. There's a bit more work here for the hands and the grip. Push your knees out. You can see there's a little bit of opening out of the knees there, but not loads, not as much as you can perhaps achieve with the band. Push against, squeezing into the hip area. Your hips, stabilize yourself when you're in standing and walking positions. They keep the hips steady. And especially if we're moving into one leg positions, as we do in some of the balance challenges. But if you think about it, you're always moving through a one leg stand position when you're walking. Although it's not a hold, it's still, we're on one leg for that moment in time. Hips in standing often sink down as well. and this will put a lot of strength in and around your hips to secure them in place. And especially if you've got any conditions of the hips into the joints, so you might have a bit of arthritis, some of you may just feel your hips are getting weaker, and some of you may have had some surgery or hip replacements potentially as well. So to put some strength in and around areas that have got stuff like that going on is always a good thing. There we go. There we go. So just take a bit of hip walking. You might want to just do some leg marching. You might want to just put some step outs in as well. Taking your feet to a comfortable position. I don't know, what is that? It's about 2 o'clock and about 10 o'clock with those steps. Just a few more, that'll do nicely. Right, moving on then to our next challenge. Bring yourself into standing if you can. We're going to put a bit of focus in and around our balance. So push up into standing. If you've been sat there for a while, then just give your feet a little fidget around, your feet a bit of a foot pedal. Okay, now one leg standing. Let's put our hip strength into check here. We want to challenge the balance in this standing position. A couple of ways you can do that. You can, as a harder option, you might want to change the surface area that your foot is standing on. So you could put a cushion down onto the floor, or it could be a screwed up jumper or your onesie or something like that. Also, what's going to have a big impact in your balance is how much external support you're using. So I'm just going to change sides here so I've got access to external support. Step onto your pillow or cushion if you've got one. Full support, so full hands or hand on your support at any one time. Shift the weight onto the leg that will be your standing leg. Just put the other foot behind you. And then if you want, take it into a one leg stand. Now, if you've got full support and that feels okay, lighten your support. So we go, if I just demonstrate here on the chair. When you're in position, full support's probably looking something like this. Lighter support, fingertips only. You can go to a couple, or a finger on each side, or all of that on one hand, or try hovering your hands. There might be some adjusting. You can touch down and bring yourself back off your external support. Or, look mum, no hands. Depending on how you feel. In seated, bring your feet and knees together. We're going to do some opposite arm reaches in with our one leg knee lift stand, if you like. So you might want to go opposite arm to leg, lifting up, not too high, it's just around the same height as your leg march height of knee lift is. There's a lot more going on in the centre of your body. As you reach up, try and resist the temptation to lean back or sump down. Try and really come up and out of your side, your trunk, and pull the belly button in. Moving the arms and shoulders, of course, to a place what is comfortable for you. You could do a couple of double nutcracker reaching arm positions there. Smooth, steady, At the very top end, when it's going to be the hardest, try not to hold your breath. Those of you who are in standing, have a switch on to the other leg if you haven't done already, or maybe you're on your way back round to the right leg again. Only go up to where is comfortable, so it might be a slightly lower lift like I'm doing now, rather than a full-on elbow straightening out arm lift. Okay, there we go. Now, if your hips have just felt a little bit of tension there, you could prop yourself back a little way. Just let your legs go straight and try and squeeze your bum underneath you there, and that'll open out the hips here. It'll also give you a bit of a bum squeeze as well. So you can see I'm relaxed my bum there. It's not a very good posture or position, but it just opens out the hips. When in seated, if you think about it, they are always bent to a certain degree. Okay, right, are we ready to move on? Job done on that one. Okay, so if you're in standing, we're going to go for a floor-based pick up an object. If you're in seated, the same again. You can have a couple of objects or just the one. So you might want to pop it down in between your knees, lift up tall. We've got a reach down. The other hand is just supporting on our thigh there. Pull the belly button in as you recover and sit tall. And then head down. So you could be picking it up or putting it down. So that's in between your feet. You can take a small trunk turn and go for a put down, utilising a bit of a side bend and a little bit of trunk turning as well. And do that a few times over. Now, if you are in standing and you're putting down your object, you might need some extra or lower, slightly lower external support. So here I've got the arms or the seat of the chair. Feet can be in your normal hip distance apart, shoulder distance if you prefer position. And bend the knees so you're sitting your bum back there. The emphasis is on the bum going back. Then the knees bend and we get down towards the floor. You might want to do a few just reaching and picking up and putting down with the one side. And that will allow your other hand, of course, to be on the external support. Before you change sides, taking a steady turn around and setting up your posture once again. Now your heels on knee bends, the heels should be down and the bum heading backwards. I better watch myself with the tree spikes. So down, external support if you need it, or hands on thigh. Hands can be on thigh as you recover as well. But working through the legs. Often when we pick stuff up or put stuff down, we're probably going like this. There's a lot of difference there, or even with straight legs. We're literally just hanging out here rather than working our muscles and holding our posture in a good way as we go through knee bends. There we go. There we have. So probably tons of picking up and putting down of stuff that we do each day. See if you can just try not to do it on autopilot. And think about your start position, your setting up of your feet, your posture, where you're bending to, how you're working through that movement and motion. All right, that's all for today. I'll see you back here for 4 o'clock. Might be dressed up in my Grinch outfit again. I'll see how we go. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good afternoon.